we've seen a lot of sales teams struggle with lead generation consistently and struggle with sales conversion consistently. And that's the problem that we're really looking to solve or help solve with the Referral app.
This is the Business Owners Smashing It Online podcast for entrepreneurs and business owners looking for cool online tools, apps and strategies to make business easy online. My name is Nick Cree and I'm your host. Each episode features a guest expert demystifying the online universe, sharing inspirational ideas and providing tested real-world strategies to help you get the most of what's available online to grow your business today. Don't be a slave to your business, get your business working for you. Subscribe now and get some great content and ideas for you and your business today. Excellent. All right. Well, that brings us to our main session tonight. And we have Derek Morgan waiting there to come and talk to us about referral marketing. Now, I was introduced to Derek probably a couple of months back, and he works for a business there which has a referral app, and I've used it and I have to say it's really quite good as well too, in terms of being able to connect, so professionally, some of my clients with other connections and vice versa. And I've had connections come in off that as well too. So, but the session tonight is not really just about the app. It's about strategies for referral marketing, how effective it can be, how you can use it, how you can implement it. And Derek has worked with businesses on referral marketing. He's an absolute legend with it when it comes to putting strategies like this together. And he can look between the gaps in a business to look at how, if you don't think you can put together a good referral marketing strategy, Derek's generally got the answer for that sort of thing as well too. So let's put your hands together and welcome to the stage, Derek Morgan.
Hi, thanks everybody. Really appreciate being on the show, Nick, and some great tech that actually plays in a little bit into what we're going to be talking about tonight. So a couple of good hooks, pardon the book pun, there that I might reference back. We've got a fair bit of time available to us tonight. So rather than me just talk at you, I'd be really keen. I'm going to throw a slide deck up, but I don't want to make this a death by PowerPoint session. This is really your session. I'm not jumping into a tech demo or a pitch or necessarily anything tonight, unless we have some time and you want to look at some tech. But let me just share my screen. And I really just want to use this slide deck as a prompt for a conversation more than anything. And I'm just going to trust IS that you guys can see my screen there.
That's perfect.
Perfect. I've lost access to the chat screen, Nick, so I might just have to get you to let me know what questions pop up.
I'll keep an eye on it. So yes, if you've got any questions, just drop it in chat and I'll keep an eye on it to make sure everything's answered.
Perfect. And that'll be a measure of whether I'm relevant or boring to you guys. So if you're quiet, I'm going to assume that I've missed the mark. And if you're asking questions, then we're going to get a lot more out of this process. So tech hitch. I'm just keen to get a bit of a feel for the room and understand who's actually using referral partnerships at the moment. So if you can just drop a yes or a no into the chat for me. And that'll give me, there we go. I've found the chat hidden away. That'll give me a little bit of perspective of what everybody's up to. And there's no right or wrong answers with anything that I ask you this evening. So yes, yes, yes. Couple saying no. So the fact that some are doing it, that's great. Let's look and see how we find more opportunities for you in what you're currently doing in your current marketing and sales processes. And for those that are currently not leveraging referral partnerships, there's a big opportunity there for you to do some different business development and start to sort of look at building those referral partnerships and how do you go about it, and then is there value in it for you to actually go through that process. So the question I guess that you guys need to be asking yourself this evening is it worth building referral partnerships? And as a flip side of that is, what's the opportunity cost of not actually building out or focusing on referrals as a part of what you do? I always use the analogy that you need 3 legs on a stool, otherwise it's really hard to be stable. So we'll cover off on that a little bit more later as well. But an example I'm going to give you is the cost of inaction on a referral partnership. I've actually got a story that I can tell you that we actually put a number on that, and it was $42 million. So actually I need to change that. It's actually 22 plus million dollars. I've exaggerated there, so there's a bit of a typo in there. But $22 million is a decent number in and of its own, right? And, when you start to look at referrals, some of these numbers might be big, and it is a bit of a dramatic demonstration for you. But referral partnerships in your business are relevant in the context of your business and your industry, right? So, if it was $200,000 or $2 million, that can still be have a really meaningful impact on your business. But basically, that one referral partner in a business I was working in was worth $11 million in 6 months. It was an IT business, and we'll cover off on a little bit of that in a bit more detail. So the image on the left, I've created it with AI to basically protect the guilty. Back when I was doing fractional business development, and I actually introduced a managed services provider to a consulting group. And I set up the meeting, I got everybody into the room, got them around the boardroom table. We established what the value proposition was, what the opportunities were, and basically there was an agreement to move forward. Details went into a very sophisticated CRM, and then nothing happened for 2 years because there wasn't a system, a process, and a framework for following up and following through on referrals as a business development strategy within that organization. So 2 years went by. I ended up actually going to work for that business, and for whatever reason, I was searching for somebody else in the CRM, and the consultant's name popped up. I'm not curious. So let's go and see what's happened with that particular referral partnership. And there was nothing linked to that contact. So I reached out. We went and had a couple of coffees with the referral partner, and within 6 months, there was $11 million worth of business that was written. So that one partnership referral, it validated my maths. I was right with the 42 million over 2 years. That was the opportunity cost that business missed out on simply because they didn't have a system process for following up on their referral network. So, a common question common response that I get when we start to talk about referral marketing and systems and processes, people say, oh yeah, I've got a CRM, or shouldn't my CRM do that? And the answer is yes, it should, but there's a lot of work and effort in actually getting it to do it. And then you need your people to follow a process. So you need to make sure you've got the systems, the strategies to implement consistently is a big part of the whole process. Tech's an enabler. It's rarely ever the sole solution, right? Particularly when we're talking about marketing, growth strategies, sales, etc. So my question to you guys tonight is, are you working harder than you need to? Are you missing opportunities within your existing sales and marketing process? So tonight, the people who are going to get the most out of this, people that have, if you have a good business, you're delivering on your promises, you have happy clients, and you're looking for growth strategies, then you're going to get a lot out of tonight. If you have some friction points in your business, you're having some challenges with delivering on your promises, or you're having some struggles keeping your clients happy, then now's probably not the ideal time for you to be focusing on trying to get referrals in and build partnerships, because you're going to have some challenges maintaining that process. So there might be other things that you might need to prioritize and work on. But if you're running a good business, you've got happy clients, then you're well positioned to be looking at and generating referral partnerships. So my goal tonight is to actually help you guys with some strategies and some tactics. I'm not going to go really granular into the tactics, but I just want to get you thinking about some strategies and ideas for identifying new opportunities within your existing marketing and sales process. And then how are you going to start to unlock those opportunities? So if you hang around to the end, basically we're going to give you a chance to win 90 days free access to the Referral app. And I'm actually going to give you 5 one-on-one sessions to go deep on your current marketing strategies and sales processes and your partnering model, either the one that you've got or the one that you want to create and implement. And the 10,000 is not a mythical figure that I've plucked out of the air. Basically, my starting point, if I'm going to go in and do one-on-one consulting with SMEs or corporates, I'm going to start at $2,000 an hour, depending on the organization. And the reason that I do that is because corporate clients, they don't play well with free, and they only pay attention if they're paying. And this is why the likes of, Deloitte and, tier 1 organizations can have really high prices in the top end of town, because they've established themselves at those levels. So, and it gets their attention. So a lot of these enterprise organizations, they won't pay attention if you're not charging them. So a bit of background on myself. I've developed over the past 30 years referral networks and done business development through referrals on a range of different industries. From service businesses, I helped actually grow a carpet cleaning business. We doubled the size of that business, or increased it by 200% in 24 months. And that was back in the days where you had the old brick mobile phones, faxes, and no internet, no emails. We were relying on yellow pages and local ads and that sort of thing. Not much has changed in the carpet cleaning industry. You've still got tenants, you've still got property managers, chemicals have changed slightly, machinery's changed slightly, but the industry still functions in the same way. And, whilst yellow pages might have disappeared, classifieds ads have lost relevance, you've still got local advertising that people are generating leads. I guess the point I'm making there is that when you've got strategies and tactics that stand the test of time, it doesn't matter whether Meetup changes its pricing and you've got a pivot. You've got frameworks in place that stand the test of time, regardless of the advertising, changes with social media, etc. Your business still flows on, your partner network still flows on, and it's less impacted. So that's where we want to get to when we're establishing a referral marketing partnership. It's that consistency of leads. And we've generated business purely through referrals in financial services, in insurance advisory. I moved out of financial services and got into business development in the tech space. I've worked with a managed financial service provider and a scale-up MarTech SaaS provider. In all of those industries and businesses, we've managed to generate significant revenue through partnerships, connections, and networking. And now, working with Referral, I'm actually the head of affiliates and partnerships to help scale Referral globally. And over the last 30 years, we've seen a lot of sales teams struggle with lead generation consistently and struggle with sales conversion consistently. And that's the problem that we're really looking to solve or help solve with the Referral app. So the Referral app founder, Mike Beachyhead, set about solving the implementation challenge when it comes to referral marketing. And he also runs a development as a service business, outsourcing developers, and he had his team create a referral marketing app that was being used to grow his businesses and used internally. And now that app is being basically designed and implemented for a retail market, which is what we're scaling up now. My role within the business, and I've worked with Mike on a number of projects over and businesses and industries over the last 25 years. My role is to come in and help with developing a formula for leveraging referral marketing to create the strategy, systems and processes that get overlaid on the tech. And that's when we start to look at what works for your industry, what works for your business, and then how do you roll it out, giving you a turnkey process for implementation, because everyone's probably got enough knowledge now. Knowledge is easy to access. The challenge in a noisy market is actually, how do you then execute and implement? And that's basically what we're here to do with Refer It App. So I talked about identifying new opportunities in your existing marketing and sales process. So what we sort of want to talk about moving forward is how do we use referral marketing and network building and partnerships as both an outbound strategy and an inbound strategy, because you don't ever want to rely on one thing. I think we've all probably felt the impact of Facebook or Google changing an algorithm, changing a process that adversely affects your lead generation and your sales. So you don't ever want to be solely reliant on ads. You don't ever want to be solely reliant on outbound. You need a combination. And then you can tie referral marketing into all of your activities, whether it's top of funnel, middle of funnel, bottom of funnel, but also with your existing clients and past customers. And the beauty, as we spoke about, not anti-ads, not adverse to ads, definitely in favor of ads, but with referral marketing, you can get high quality leads consistently with no ad spend if you set the process up properly. So I'm just curious, how many of you have a very clear ideal customer profile or multiple customer profiles? Can you just drop something in the chat and just go, yes, if you've got a very defined customer avatar or ICP? And if you've got more, just go yes, 3, 5, whichever. Excellent. Great, Roz, that's excellent. Good. So we've got a good mix of people that have clarity around your ideal customer, which is awesome, because I go to so many marketing events where I ask what an ideal customer is, and the business owner actually gives me a demographic, right? So you're in rare air when you've got clarity around your ideal customer. That's great. So who can give me an example of who their ideal customer is, what the value proposition is, and why that's important to them? And I don't expect you, if you want to type that information in, would love to see the examples, but if you can just give me a 3 whys if you've got all of those really nailed down, 2 whys if you've got 2 of them nailed down, and 1 why if you've just got your ideal profile nailed down. Excellent, Andrew, that's great. Gareth, awesome. Colin, fantastic. Cool. Excellent. Thanks for your honesty, Roz. Jeff, excellent work. So that's great. The reason that we want to nail down who your ideal customer is, what your value proposition is, and why it's important to that client is because that's going to set you up for targeting who is potentially your ideal partner. And once you've once you've got your ideal customer profile nailed down and you start to build a partner network, that's when you can get multiple referrals coming to you in your business. And obviously, if you've got more than one partner, then you've got multiple people sending you multiple referrals. So we tend to talk about one-to-more or one-to-one referrals, one-to-more referrals, and one-to-many referral strategies. The difference that between an ideal partner, an ideal referral partner, and an ideal affiliate partner is just the way that you engage with them. So in the context of tonight, I'm really talking about B2B strategies where you've got an ideal referral partner, and that's typically where you're promoting high ticket products and or services. When you're using ideal referral partnerships, you can also use ideal affiliate partnerships, but when you've got sort of lower cost products and services, typically you're going to be wanting to use one-to-many strategies because you're going to need to scale to get that penetration and get that impact and the revenue out of the affiliate partnership, right? So happy to go into affiliate partnerships and centers of influence in more detail a little bit later, but just understand at the moment I'm really focused on or talking in the context of your ideal referral partner. So if we were to have a chat now about Nick really ticks 3 boxes for me as a potential partner or as a partner, because he's an ideal referral partner for me. He also runs an affiliate program, understands affiliate marketing, and there's ways that we can collaborate from an affiliate perspective. And he also runs his own webinar and podcast services and has an audience. So he's also a center of influence from my perspective as well. So there's a real-time example of an ideal customer, partner, affiliate, and center of influence for me. Okay, so let me just backtrack there. So I didn't go into a lot of detail initially around our Refer It formula, and the formula is really a framework for, and I'm looking just down the bottom right-hand corner here, it's really a framework for us to talk about our systems and processes. And it's a way to keep us consistent in our marketing, but also give our customers and partners a framework to be starting to build out their referral marketing strategies and their referral marketing partnership programs. So just for context, I'm not necessarily just asking who, what, and why in these different areas. This is meant to get you thinking about asking all 6 of these questions around your ideal customer profile, around your ideal referral partner profile, who's an ideal affiliate for you, and then ask all of these questions in and around connections. Who do I need to connect to? What's important to them? Why would they be motivated to connect with me? What's going to trigger that connection? What's the message to market that I need to put out to that ideal customer or that referral partner that's going to get them to engage? And when we're talking about community and communicating with potential referral partners, a referral partner has your ideal client in numbers, right? So they've already built a community of your ideal clients. Those clients already know, so Nick's clients already know Nick. They already trust him. He's got a relationship with them. So when Nick refers somebody to Refer It, there's borrowed trust there. That's part of the value and the importance of your ideal referral partner. They've already congregated your ideal customer. So part of this process is finding more of your ideal partners and then finding how best to connect, communicate, and collaborate with them. So we've covered off on the one-to-more process here. So I'm not going to go too much deeper into that other than to reflect on all those questions at each stage of your customer journey or your customer roadmap. Okay. So when you're developing a partner strategy, you want to look at what is the engagement roadmap that your partner takes their customers through. What's their top of funnel? What's their middle of funnel? What's their bottom of funnel? How are they engaging with their existing clients? And do they have a list of past clients that they can re-engage that you can help add value to that referral partner? Are they building community? How can you add value to that process or engage with them in building that community or adding value to that community? And then what are the new product options that you might be able to introduce into that that partner? So to give you a bit of an example here, one of our ideal customer profiles is business coaches. The value proposition that we deliver to business coaches is that we help them grow monthly recurring revenue. The reason that's important to them is business coaches typically have a finite amount of time that they work with a client for, and then they've got to find a new client. If we can help them generate recurring revenue from their top of funnel, their middle of funnel, and their bottom of funnel processes, now we become very attractive to business coaches to work with and therefore refer their clients to, because ultimately those business clients have a large network of business owners that they've either worked with currently or worked with in the past. But like most businesses, business coaches have a lot of leads that come into their top of funnel but don't go any further, don't engage them as a coach. So we create an opportunity for the coaches to actually add value and generate recurring revenue from clients, even if they don't become a coaching client. That then adds value to their business, and that's the reason why we're attractive to work with for that, for business coaches as referral partners. So just as an example. So one of the other things that I want to get you starting to think about with your referral partners is, what are they doing in their marketing and their sales processes that you can actually fit into their process and add value to their process? Because once you get deep engagement in their process, then you get consistency of referrals. So what's your ideal partner doing when it comes to top of funnel lead magnets? What are they creating? Are there things that you can add value to their current checklists or roadmaps or blueprints or courses or whatever it is that they're giving out as a lead magnet? Are there products or services that you can give away as part of that process so that you become an embedded part of their marketing strategy? Likewise, how do you collaborate with partners on events and webinars and challenges? So online things. So, there's a collaboration going on here between myself and Nick in this webinar online event process, but you could be doing the same thing with partners via industry events, or, business networking is probably something that you're all actively doing or should be actively doing. So how do you actually become part of their process consistently? Same with social media. How do you collaborate and add value on social media? And I think we've covered off on the one-to-more, one-to-many fairly deeply. So one of the things that we see in the marketplace a lot is that, I'm just going to move a screen here for a second, is that businesses are so active on the treadmill of lead generation, that quite often they miss the gold nuggets and the gems in the relationships that they already have. So I'd be sort of encouraging you to go back and look at your database, look at your lead generation process, look at your middle of funnel process, look at the people that you've engaged with in the past and your clients, and start to do a deep dive into who are the other providers and suppliers that your ideal customers, your best customers, who are the other vendors that they are using, who are the other advisors that they are using, because that vendor or that advisor most likely has already congregated a large number of your ideal clients. So through your ideal customers, are you actively networking with your best customers to go deep on what they do, where they do it, who they do it with, how they do it, so that you can start to add value to that process, or actively engaging with those ideal clients to actually introduce you to their other trusted networks and advisors? And you can do that in a really engaged way rather than having to rather than having to just be really dry in the way that you ask for referrals. So I'm happy to just stop sharing screen in a second and open up the microphones and just do a Q&A session with everybody now. We've got a fair bit of time because I did sort of rush through that. So if we want to circle back on anything and go a little bit deeper, then we can absolutely do that. And if anybody wants to connect with me on LinkedIn, I'll drop that link into the chat in a second. So does anybody want to throw a question into the chat, or we can open up the mics and go a little bit deeper on any of those stories, analogies, industries? How do I? Yeah.
So, yeah, there is a question in the chat there from Gareth there. Interested to hear about how you build communities and referral networks.
Yeah, so Gareth, great question. I tend to actually look for communities because somebody's already built that community. So rather than me go and try and build a community from scratch, I will actually go and try and find a referral partner. So they've already done the work. They've got the relationships. The question then is, how do I add value to you? So typically what I do, Gareth, when I'm at networking events and we're doing the 10-minute speed dating, I'm always looking to dominate the question process and eat up as much of that 10 minutes, going deep into what does that person do, how do they do it, where do they do it, who do they do it for. So to give you a little bit more of a relevant example, what industry are you in, Gareth?
Look, I'm a consultant. I'm principally a IP and commercial lawyer, but I'm also working with other, colleagues on a sort of coaching platform presently. Leanne Clune, who's a member of this community. And so we're interested in how to really build those strong referral networks, acknowledging we all have also sometimes more than one offering,
Yeah.
but just interested as to how, particularly when you're releasing a new product, I'm really interested in that, because I feel sometimes you're in the dark a little bit as to how a community will receive it. How can you accelerate that process, build that trusted network in order to, leverage a new offering, say?
Yeah. There's a bunch of really good questions in there. So let's go back to the product offering. We've got one product. Refer It app is a very, very flexible tool. It's a toolbox of referral marketing solutions. With that toolbox, we can go and construct a house, we can go and construct a commercial building, we can go and construct a shed. And I'll get back on track and give you a better analogy shortly. But the point is, you need to focus. A shed builder is different to a house builder, is different to a commercial apartment builder. you can use the same tools, but you've got to have a very, very pointed message to that market, right? So when I went through that roadmap, I went through it generically, but then I refined the messaging within the time frame that we had, and just took that messaging and spoke specifically to business coaches. So the question for me is, what's your product? What does it solve, and who does it solve it for? And then who owns the relationship with the people at the end benefit? And then how do you add value to that referral partner, to the end client through the referral partner? There no answers for you, just a whole lot of questions.
No, I think you have. If I can relay back to you, just to check in with what you've suggested, is well, you've got to obviously take it to the communities. You don't have to build your own community, is the first thing you said.
Correct.
The second thing you said is you can actually move, towards communities that find the problem, find the answer. You have the problem to perhaps some of their pain points, and and you can make yourself known in those communities. I guess is that fairly clear to say?
Yeah, it is. So, using the business coach example, if I stick with that theme because I presented to it, we go into a business coaching community and we go, okay, what does that community want? There's certain things that community wants for their end customer, which is the business coaches. So they want to make the business coaches more successful. They want to make the business coaches more money. And as a result, that business community, if we call it a licensee group or a franchise group or whatever, right? Whoever owns that community, that's what they want for their community. If you can help that community leader get outcome for their client, then they're going to be open at least to a conversation, right? And that's how when you go, okay, I know who my ideal client is. I know who owns the relationship. Now, what's important to the person that owns the relationship? Because when you can be of value to them, they're going to open up their network to you because it's in their best interests.
I've got one last question then, because I want to float this through, and this is for everyone too, by the way. The problem that we're trying to solve is actually one that's pretty common for any business owner. We're also busy running towards the next opportunity, the next, sale, the next product or service offering.
Yep.
But what if the coaching program, and this is really broad, is more about you understanding, for us all, or you understanding your legacy, your purpose, the big picture, why are we doing your business? And if it's not in alignment, getting you in alignment. Any ideas about communities to begin to focus on that? Anyway, just one more throwaway question. Hope you don't mind.
Yeah, well, that's no throwaway question. That's a really deep question. And I'm going to defer to Nick, the marketing expert, on this one, because again, it comes down to clarity on the problem you solve for the individual, and then how do you get to that individual, and then
that is our problem. Yeah, we can't clarify it quite yet. It might be able to help.
Yeah, well, exactly, and that's why ideal customer profile is so important. And then you want more than one, right? Because it's that whole stool analogy. You want to have 2 or 3 ideal customer profiles that you focus on, and then you change your messaging market specifically to target that ideal customer profile.
Yep.
And then coming back to your earlier point around having multiple offerings, you can only offer one thing at one point in time, right? Because as soon as you introduce a second thing, your conversion rate drops by 50 to 90%. If you ask, and this is not just product offering, this is asking any call to action, and Nick, slap me later if I'm wrong on this, But if you introduce a third thing and you're asking people to do three different things, just it's analysis paralysis, and they just don't do anything. So yeah, one message, one market might be the same product across 6 markets, but you're just changing your value proposition positioning for each ideal customer profile.
Yeah, great. Thank you so much. Yeah. Positioning problems. I guess we all have them when we introduce new products.
Yeah. So. And coming back to your testing, your product testing, get a beta group, get some trusted networks, start collaborating with them, get them into a proof of concept or beta group, start testing your product and getting feedback. Get your minimum viable product happening ASAP, even if it's just in that small group testing environment.
Great advice. Thanks so much, Derek.
If I can just jump in, because that's always the conundrum, is how do you get to, you know, what it is that they really want. A really good way to do it is to, if you've got reviews or your competitors have got reviews, so people that you're up against, grab all their, so just grab the text of all the reviews, throw that into something like ChatGPT and ask it that question. And what comes, and what you'll get out of that, there's some quite insightful leads in terms of what the specific issues are that you're solving, and it will start to give you a profile on the customer in terms of what's their demographic, what's the specific problem they've got, who are they working with, what are the sorts of things that they've tried or they're doing. But that all just comes out of the particularly Google reviews that are available out there. So it is a really good tool.
Thanks so much, Nick. Yes.
And Andrew, I think you had your hand up. It disappeared.
I was going to ask you about, like, we offer 3 levels of packages for a lot of what we do, because a lot of it comes down to company sizing and things like that, and also how regulated they are as to the level of compliance they want to achieve.
Yep.
Right? Does your statement about, you know, not diversifying products, should I just be picking one and going in with that? Is that what you're saying there?
Not necessarily. I mean, having t-shirt sizes, it's really just scaling up your offering, right? Having a message to market around a specific thing that you're looking to do to hook and get their attention. So I guess it depends on whether we're talking top of funnel, middle of funnel, bottom of funnel, right? As to the context of the answer, but the strategy stays the same. You need a really good hook or messaging. You need to be a good storyteller, which is going to be your differentiator in the IT market, right? In the managed service market. Like, look at my 5 partners: Microsoft, Fortinet, blah blah blah. Everybody's got the same partners or the equivalent competitor of that same partner. So that's not your differentiators. The message to market and the storytelling is what's going to make a difference at that top of funnel. Like being able to go, I solve this problem for this particular type of business owner, and that business owner knows that you're talking directly to them. And then what's your call to action? It's when you get to that call to action stage, if we're talking about bottom of funnel and you've gone through the middle of funnel discovery and you're now getting to the construct a proposal stage, well, that's when you're then starting to identify small, medium, or large, right? Your t-shirt sizing or your bronze, silver, gold, whatever it is that you're.
Yep. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, but if you had three flavors of bronze, just be careful.
Yeah, don't do it. Yeah.
But I guess you're not getting people to buy stuff and swipe a card online.
No. We are coming in for ideally a lifetime of business together, but yeah, not binding people past 30 days.
Yeah. So the big question is, like, it's IT. Everybody needs IT. It's security. Everybody needs security. People don't. You're out in the masses. It's that bloody red ocean concept of your message is just out there and it's noise and it's just. But when you can go, I service, I'm struggling to come up with an immediate analogy, but when you go, I service stations. The reason I service service stations is because of this. These are the problems I have, and this is how I solve them. Then service station owners' ears prick up because they've got all those problems that need solving, right? And that's a pretty light, high-level analogy, but it's people know who you're talking to. They know that they've got that problem, and now you've positioned yourself as having an expert solution to solve that problem. What's the next step?
Yep, perfect. I'm starting to get that down, Pat. I was going to ask, how many of your, like particularly early on, it's always hard, like we're only a year into business.
Yep.
We haven't built that larger client base, referral network, etc. Right? So we exploit the client. Well, we leverage the clients we've got rather than exploit them. But how do we, how is it? What's the easiest way to develop that mutual relationship when you're still trying to build those contacts and you're conscious that these are bi-directional relationships we're after, not just one way?
Yeah, look, it comes down to your best clients. Grab your 3 best clients and then just have a matrix of how did I get them? Who do they associate with? Who are their other advisors, that their trusted advisor network? What are the industry associations and organizations that they are involved in? What are the online communities that they visit and hang out in? Because your best clients are typically associating with people like them and or other advisors and service delivery people who are quality. And those people will have more of your ideal client. So how then do you add value to that provider and engage with that other community, other specialist? We used to do this a lot in the financial services sector, particularly when we moved out of financial planning and self-managed super funds just to focus on business succession. We had financial planners, accountants, lawyers, insurance brokers all referring business to us because they knew their clients had a problem and they knew we were a non-competitive supplier who could come in and look after that client and protect. The big thing here is protect the referral partner's status. And this comes back to when I was talking about, are you running a good business or have you got unhappy clients and you're not delivering? Because your partners are not going to trust you for too long with their relationships if you're not delivering on your promise, right? So, yeah. So, you might be in IT, you might be able to do everything for everybody, but when it comes to marketing and business development, nail down your ICP and then find out who has those relationships.
Cool. Thank you.
Yeah.
I've got a question there, Derek, and that's just around when you have referral partnership, there are some referral partnerships that are only ever going to be one way because where you happen to be in the process or of the client journey is going to be one way. So for what would be a good example there? A real estate agent, for instance, like a lawyer that does the conveyancing for a real estate agent is only going to be there for the conveyancing. So they're downstream from that first one, and it's difficult to refer back upstream. But I mean, they probably can't, but that's just giving some example there. How do you construct your relationships there so that there's some equity in the relationships both ways? Or is it, or are you looking for, rather than some referral relationships which are 2 parties, referral relationships that are maybe 3 or 4 parties, and the referrals all end up in a group there, as opposed to just give and take?
Yeah, look, it's a really, really good question, Nick, and sometimes in a referral relationship, the value is not necessarily purely commercial coming back, purely commercial both ways. The way that you can construct that, though, is by having a formal rewards program or process, and we facilitate that and give you the technology to track and manage that within the Refer It app. But there may be other value added and strategic reasons that you're delivering value back when someone refers business to you, but you can't refer business back to them. That might be completely acceptable in that relationship, because I know that if I send my client to a trusted network, that he's not farming that lead off to somebody else, to a competitor, right? That might be the value proposition in that referral engagement. And it's a really good point you make about looking at, and this comes back to your question, Andrew, looking at your best clients and what other products and services are they using downstream before they get to you, and upstream what, you know, so once you've solved a problem for them, typically they will have another challenge, right? Something else that they've solved. So you can add more value to your clients by having a trusted supplier network that solves that next problem for them, if that makes sense, right? The other thing that I didn't touch on much, but is really worth thinking about strategically, is how do you find affiliates? If you can productize and have somebody resell your services, then how do you find affiliates that are going to distribute your product? But also, how do you partner with affiliates that sell things that you currently don't, but your clients are buying? And how do you actually add more value to your clients by solving that problem, by introducing that product to them? And then you are obviously in a position to monetize that product in the process, right? So everyone's part of Nick's community, and Nick has an affiliate program. Are you thinking strategically about how you work with Nick to leverage that affiliate program? And that same conversation can be asked of the Referral app, because we have an affiliate model is our go-to-market and distribution model. So in your process of doing your business development and networking and passing leads, you could also be potentially generating a new revenue stream as well. So, Nick, do you have a link for the Referral app that you can drop into the chat?
We do. So we'll just go and grab that now. I'll be able to drop that into chat. There we go. It's in now.
There you go. So if you want to click on that link, you can register on the Referral app for free. So we run as a freemium model. So you can register on the Referral app for free, get 30 days access to our premium solutions. And if we're the right platform to help you build and grow and focus on developing your referral marketing systems and processes in your business, great. If not, if the only thing we've done here is getting you focused on building some other process and system and focusing on it, then it's been a good use of your time and our time. Any more questions? Can you reward people for referrals? Yes, Jeff, you can, and there's multiple different ways that you can do that. Some industries can't, but you still want to be able to track your referral activity from your trusted network, so that you can take them, just say thank you, take them to lunch, take them to football, show gratitude in other ways other than a formal rewards process. But then other industries do want to have and deliver a formal rewards process. Then, you know, that can be a motivator in a lot of industries and for a lot of people. You just want to make sure that you've got the right people referring the right way, so that you're protecting your brand. And we've certainly got an engine that can help you facilitate the tracking and management of a referral rewards program.
Excellent. All right. Well, I think that's sort of getting towards time there. Unless anyone's got any last questions there to drop into chat or open up the microphone. But certainly, you know, those referral strategies, that's how I've grown 3 businesses through referral strategies, and almost stumbled across it by accident in the first one, which is financial services. And that was pretty much 100% referral based. there. So I can certainly attest to it. And the problem with it is actually just keeping track of some of this and having a good dashboard to do it. And that's one of the reasons I think that the Referral app has been good. And it's been good to try that out just to see how it works and how the dashboard works for tracking it. And it really does provide a good solution for that. All right. Well, if there's no more questions, we do have a door prize for tonight as well. So do you want to tell us what that is, Derek?
Yeah. So I'm going to myself and Mike are going to give you 3 months access to Referral app. And I'm also going to give you 5 one-on-one sessions of an hour. And in those sessions, I'm actually going to take you through the Referral formula around B2B lead generation and how you use that. And basically what that time's going to be is a deep dive into your strategy, some tactics that you can implement, and then obviously you're going to have the Referral app, so the tools to implement, but it's really going to be a deep dive around your strategy and how do you create and maximize referral partnerships.
Fabulous. Excellent. All right. Well, we do have a special way of drawing this, of course, with our wheel of names. So now is not the time to leave the room because you need to be in the room to win it. So let's spin the wheel and see who is going to be the lucky recipient of that reward for tonight. And it's coming up, and it would be Gareth Benson, eh? The first one to ask the question. How does that always happen, eh? So it sounds like that'll be of great value to you. So congratulations, Gareth.
Thank you, Nick and Derek. I was just chatting to our mutual friend Leanne. That is exactly what we need. So it seems like the algorithm is in alignment.
Excellent. Well,
isn't it funny how you ask, you get what you need?
Fantastic, guys. Thanks for a great and informative session.
Excellent, Gareth. And I'm just going to drop my my profile link into the chat for you. And if you connect with me on LinkedIn, then I will be able to line up a time, give you a calendar, and we can just compare diaries and go from there.
Excellent. No, that's fantastic. Couldn't have asked for a better session. Thank you so much.
Fabulous. Excellent. All right. Well, that is our session tonight. So thanks, Derek, for providing so much food for thought tonight and so much value for tonight. Hopefully everyone's sort of got some good takeaways from that. If you've enjoyed tonight's session and you do want to rewatch it because there are sort of some real gems in there, then this session will be up on the SmashGo YouTube channel tomorrow afternoon. It should be up there. If you haven't subscribed to it, now's a good time to go and subscribe to the channel. The link is in the chat. And when you do subscribe, hit the bell that's beside it for notifications, and then you'll get that notification as soon as it is uploaded. And of course, if there's anyone else that you think would would get value from tonight's session as well too, point them to the YouTube channel and they can watch it there, and they're free to reach out to Derek as well too. All right, well, that is our session tonight. We will be back here again, same time next week for another action-packed session. So thanks everyone for coming along. Thanks, Derek, for you giving us your evening tonight, and see you all again next week.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Nick. Really appreciate it.
Thanks, team. Have a good night.
Thank you for tuning in and listening to the Business Owners Smashing It Online podcast. You can also find me on social media and online. Just search for Business Owners Smashing It Online and Nick Cree, spelled Nikree, all one word. If you like this and want to hear more, subscribe now. Until next time, don't be a slave to your business. Get your business working for you.